Welcome to Grade 12 Advanced Mathematics. In this video, we will explore on how to find the antiderivative of a given function, both mathematical technique and shortcut.
Welcome to Hasna Spot Math. Let's spark our math skills together.
Let's begin with the first question. When you can't find the lower limit and the upper limit, if it's not definite integral, formula is mandatory. After explaining this method, I will explain how you can use a lot of shortcut via calculator too. First, let's approach mathematically using formula. If you look at here, you have a constant 2, the coefficient of sin x, where everywhere you can see 2, isn't it? So let's now move with the sin x. What is the integral of sin x? Negative cos x. So definitely the first term should be negative 2 cos x. In that case, you will rule out option C and option D. Now comes second function, that is cos x. What is the integration of cos x? Positive sin x. In that case, you will rule out option B also because it's given negative sin x. So the correct answer is option A. Now let's learn how to check using calculator. Now let's explore on how to use calculator for such question to find antiderivative without using formula technique. But be aware, you must do for all the 4 options, because in case if you have same answer for 2 options, please get back to your original method of using formula technique. If you get only one matching option, then that's the right answer. So please keep in mind, please do check for all 4 options. Here we go. First of all, we are supposed to enter the question as it is. Make sure your calculator is in radian mode. So first let me check to radian mode, and then let's go ahead to sin x plus cos x. Once you reach here, let's click on calc function and let's enter a smallest value. Any value you can enter. I'm going for 0.1. Avoid 0 or any whole numbers. Okay, let it be decimal. Then let's click on equal to, and we notice we get the answer as 1.19467. Now let's check for each options. Our option A, how we are supposed to enter d by dx of. So let's go for d by dx of. The first option says negative 2 cos x plus sin x. You can avoid the constant c and let's enter the x value as what you have entered the previous x value, the same x value are supposed to enter. So 0.1. You got the same value, that is 1.19467. So you can fix your option A is the right answer. But what did I say? You are supposed to confirm whether you get only this option as the same or is there any more options. If yes, you have to cross check with the formula technique. So I'm going to cross check for all the options. Second option says negative 2 cos x but minus sin x. See, this is different. So option B is definitely not the right answer. Now option C says 2 cos x minus sin x. So that is also negative 1.19467. That is also not the right answer. Now let's check for your option D with plus. That's also not the right option. So option A is the correct answer. Don't lock the option at the beginning. After confirming with all the 4 options, please lock the answer. So that's all. Let's continue with question number 2. From now on, I'll focus on the formula method. You can cross-check the calculator technique. If any doubt, please rewind the video and watch question number 1. If you notice here, 3 is a constant, it's a coefficient of cos x. Everywhere you have 3. And what is the integration of cos x? It is positive sin x. So you can cross out option C and option D. Now, negative sin x. You already have a negative sign and the integration of sin x is negative cos x. So, negative of negative become positive. In that case, answer is option A is the right answer. Let's move with question number 3. If you look here, the coefficient, that's a constant 2, it's a positive 2. So definitely you will rule out option A and option B. And integration of sec x tan x is just sec x. So it is option C, that's the right answer. Here we go with question number 4. When we look at here, the number 4, that's a constant. It is everywhere in the option. So now let's look at the denominator, which is square root of 1 minus x square. When you see square root of 1 minus x square, you should connect it with sine inverse x. When I say sine inverse x, in the International Standard textbook, you will look at as 4 arc sine x plus c. Arc sine x means it's nothing but sine inverse x. Also, these questions you can check as I mentioned in the calculator technique for question number 1. So you can rewind and check out question number 1. But be sure you check for all the 4 options and you make sure that only one option matches with the calc value of the question. If not, you have to switch back to the formula technique. Here we go with question number 5. When we look at the constant phi, it's a positive phi. Now what about integral sec square x dx? It is nothing but tan x. So the option B, phi tan x plus c is the right answer. Here we go with question number 6. In such situation, when we can't look at for any formula, what we can do, let us split and simplify. For the sine square x, I split it as cos x divided by sin x. Just I will consider only one sin x, and the other one I write it as 1 over sin x. So I didn't change, it balances with the question itself with an integral sign and dx. Now what it is actually, when you look back to the trigonometric ratios, it is nothing but 4 cot x cosec x dx. And you have 4. What is integral cot x cosec x dx? It is negative cosec x plus c. So the answer is option B, which is negative 4 cosec x plus c. In this particular question, it has two terms. So the first term is very simple. It repeats the same 3e power x. In that case, you can cross out option A, option B. Now comes negative 2. It is negative 2x plus c, which means option C is the right answer. How about this question? Here, if you notice, 4 remains as 4. But what is the integration of x dx? It is x squared divided by 2. So when you simplify, you get 2x squared. In this case, you will cross out option D, followed by negative 2e power x. This leads to the answer option C. Here we go with question number 9. What about 3 cos x? It is nothing but 3 sin x. In that case, we will cross out option B. Now, what about negative dx by x? It is nothing but negative ln absolute value of x. This leads to option D as the right answer. In this question, I'll show you both the methods. Mathematically, how to apply formula as well as calculator method. In this calculator method, you will realize that two options get the same answer and how quickly we switch back to the formula method. First, let's apply the formula technique. If you notice, it is 2x power negative 1. How can you make it positive? 2, bring the x power negative 1 to the denominator, so it becomes x power positive 1, which is nothing but 2 over x. Then sin x remains as it is, so plus sin x. Dx. So what about 2 over x? 2 is a constant. 1 over x, that is dx over x, which is nothing but ln absolute value of x. That leads to cross out option A and option B. Now what about plus sin x? It is nothing but negative cos x. Integral value of sin x dx is negative cos x, which leads to option D as the right answer. Now we will check how we can use the calculator. Now let's check how to use calculator. First, let's make sure that our calculator is in radian mode. Yes, it is in radian mode. Now let's enter the question, which is 2x power negative 1 plus sin x calc. Let's enter a smallest value, which is 0.1, and let's fix the answer, that is 20.0998334165. Now let's check for each options. Make sure each options. Let's go with option A, d over dx of negative 2 over x square minus cos x here you can notice the same value 0.1, which is around negative 2 by x square minus cos x, right? Yeah, which is around 4000 point something. So we ignore this. Now let's check for ln x square minus cos x. So I change these values and go for ln x square which is 20.099. This is exactly same as the question, right? But as I mentioned, don't stop here. You are supposed to check option C and option D as well. So let me proceed with option C, which is 2 ln x ln absolute value of x ln absolute value of x plus cos x. And you get I think maybe we will end at x itself. Yeah, 19.9, which is not the right answer. So option C you can cancel out. Now let me check with option D. Option D is also the right answer. So we get two options as the right answer, B and D, but we can't, right? We should choose only one. In this situation, we will switch back to the formula technique as explained in the previous slide. So we finalize the answer as option D, that is 2 ln x minus cos x plus c, based on the formula technique. That's all for today. Keep practicing, keep revising. Bye-bye.